So you want to learn how to use Adobe Character Animator? Well, you've come to the right place. I think. I created Coulpomland, an online animated series that uses Adobe Character Animator to bring the 2D characters to life. This video will show how Coulpomland's characters are rigged and give a breakdown on how you can create a basic rigged puppet. Adobe Character Animator is a unique program that allows users to animate their Photoshop or Illustrator files, either through side-click trigger animations or motion tracking through a webcam. As you need Photoshop or Illustrator to use Character Animator, you cannot buy this program separately. These are the file specifications that each character in Coulpomland uses. Make sure that you're using RGB instead of CMYK. 180 by 1920 is a good size. As Coulpomland's characters are created in Illustrator, this video will focus on this program, but the same rule applies for Photoshop too. Layers and groups are what will formulate your puppet. If your layers aren't in the proper order, then you'll struggle in the rigging stage. Each layer and group must be labeled properly. An issue you may encounter is that Character Animator won't recognize certain layers due to their names, therefore you won't be able to rig them. This is what a basic rigging file looks like. Before we continue, you will need to decide which recording process you'll prefer. There are three: motion tracking, triggered cycles, and transform. Coulpomland's characters use all three: motion tracking for the face movements, triggered cycles for the eyelids and eyebrows, leaving the position and rotation of their arms with transform. Cycle triggered animations are grouped in a particular way, like so. If the hierarchy is incorrect, the animation won't work. Once you've completed your layering and grouping, now it's time to start rigging. Simply drag and drop your Illustrator or Photoshop file into the program. In the Rigging tab, you'll be presented with this: the character you've designed in the middle, all of the layers and groups ready to be rigged on the left, and finally the alterations column. This skeleton wireframe will help us properly rig your puppet, granted that you've labeled your layers and groups properly. Most of the rigging occurs on the face. If you labeled it properly, you might see that the wireframe is now blue. This means that the layer is now assigned to this element. Now let's select the face group. You'll have to make it independent by crowning it king. This tells the program that this layer or group moves independently from the puppet. This group will have its own face behavior, alongside being rigged on the skeleton as a head as well. So now we have the head group and face group rigged to the head, with the face being independent. Let's give this a try. Go to the Record tab and ensure that your webcam is on. If not, go down to this drop-down menu and ensure that your preferred webcam is selected. Also, these red dots imply that the behavior is ready to be used. Make sure that the face is highlighted. This rigging method achieves the parallax effect, where the two layers travel at different speeds so the illusion of 3D is at play. An issue you may encounter is this: the head and face are being tracked, but the puppet flies all over the place. It's an easy fix. Go back to the Rigging tab and select the character's name in the group. Down at the bottom, you'll see these tools. Select this tool and protrude a long line along the puppet's base. Press the plus sign and apply Fixed. This behavior will fix the puppet in place. So when we return to the Record tab and use motion tracking, the puppet's feet will stay put, allowing the head to navigate at ease with no disruptions. You'll notice that this character has an ear hiding in the back. To further achieve the parallax effect, add a crown for independence on this layer. Then, just like the face, add a face behavior and assign this ear layer to the face. You'll have to ensure that the parallax behavior falls into the minus. This allows the ear layer to travel opposite to where you look, to give the illusion of rotation and travel. Now we'll focus on the eyes. There are three ways to animate the eyes: motion tracking, using your eyes through the webcam; mouse, using the direction of the mouse cursor to navigate the pupils; or, the one that I use, keyboard, using the arrow keys. You'll notice that the file uses detail R or L instead of naming the group I. This is to tackle an issue you may encounter: the entire group blinking and stretching like a balloon. Inside the group, the layer that's assigned to I is the layer eyeball. As the pupil has its own behavior, ensure you crown the pupil and assign it to the wireframe. In the Record tab, you'll get to choose how your pupils react in this area. Decide which method you prefer for your project and highlight it. If your pupils are reacting differently, make sure that the origin point is in the center of the layer and try to play around with the properties' behaviors. Now we have the parallax face and the rigged eyes. Let's move on to the mouths. Mouths have different expressions: happy, sad, angry, for example. Triggers won't be used here. Instead, we'll use swap sets. This allows the user to swap through elements whilst recording. Before we do that, we need to make sure that the mouths are properly assigned and layered. The swap set options allow you to set which mouth is default. An issue you may encounter is that when you record, the default mouth is shown, but the other expressions don't appear even when triggered. This is because the alternative mouth sets aren't assigned as a mouth. The same swap sets method can be made with hands, clothes, and even hairstyles. Here are some quick issues you may encounter and how to fix them. Sometimes when you edit the puppet in Illustrator or Photoshop and press save, this may happen. The artwork isn't in sync. It's an easy fix. In rigging, go to this area and find the file where the puppet is saved. The connection should be found again. If your pupil isn't responding, add the eye gaze behavior to the pupil that doesn't work. This should override the problem. If you have more than one method of recording assigned to an element, for instance an eyebrow, then Character Animator might have some trouble understanding. Only assign one of these to the element. This should fix the problem. And that's it, a quick basic rig for you guys to follow. Be sure to check out the downloadable files to help out with your adventure into Adobe Character Animator.